Now, I'm pretty sure Walid is going to do a fantastic moderation of the next session, and I hope that you'll please pay attention, because the panel over here have a wealth of knowledge and information that hopefully you'll benefit from. Walid?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second day of the Camden Conference. As Mr. Chairman mentioned earlier, we're here to celebrate families in business. Very often we talk about the issues and the negative sides, but in fact we're here to celebrate the successes, and we're here to celebrate the future of the business families of our part of the world and of the various family businesses with which the private sector in this part of the world deals with, interacts with, whether it is in Europe, whether it is in Asia, whether it is in North America, or what have you. I've been in this business and I fell in the soup by mistake about 15 years ago. And every time I work with families in business, I am humbled by their journey, by their achievements, and by their beginnings and where they have reached and their achievements. What I have discovered to be extremely important in the succession planning and in the governance, as we call it, governance, family governance or corporate governance, is the component of education. We don't talk about it very much. We don't focus on it very much. Education, development, and training. It's not just educating at school, but it is the stages that come after that. We are lucky today to have with us two families, one coming from Turkey and the other one coming from Syria. They both have an experience to share with us. And again, we're here to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we are among ourselves, and we are here to share and to learn from one another. So we're here. Betty is going to, firstly on the left, is going to talk to us about succession planning in their group. And you will see that it is quite a peculiar and particular angle, in the sense that finally we're putting the ladies on the stage. And the family that she represents has a phenomenal story to tell us. Şelale, who is in the middle, is going to talk to us about you're going to talk to us about education in the family. And when we talk about education, we talk about the education and the training and the development of family members, of the people working for the family and with the family, and the third parties from the outside world who interact with the family, because it's an ensemble. And Imad is going to tell us about entrepreneurship in the family business conference. If you allow me, Perry, we'll start with you, because you do have something quite exciting to share with us.
Yes, first I would like to mention about my company shortly. My company is established 60 years ago by my father. And our core business is in automotive spare part production. Mainly we are producing car wheel and car batteries. We have 11 million pieces per year wheel production and 4 million battery production. And also, totally our group of companies is, totally we have 15 companies, and also we are working in sector waste management, insurance, logistics, also minibar production. And then my father, the other hand, we have 2,400 workers. Our turnover is $650 million per year. We are a little bit different company, and in Turkey also there is a culture, eldest son to eldest son culture also is still available. Still, most of the family is led by son, eldest son. But Fortunately, my father has not any son, but 5 daughters. And my mother was outstanding woman, and they really give us the opportunity for our education. And 5 of us we graduated from the university college. At that, all of us, we worked with my father. And we started the succession plan when my father was alive, around 98. And first we started with the family institution. And of course it was some difficulties to work together and to discuss with father. You know, there's some emotional things in family. And at the end, we had a family institution around 2002, but in 2003 my father gave the responsibility to manage the company to my eldest daughter and the other girls, and we take over the management. Unfortunately, my father passed away in 2004. Then my eldest, what we decided, what was our succession plan is, my eldest sister take over for 3 years presidency, and then we change every 3 years president. I am the 4th one, and I am the youngest in the 2nd generation. And in the meantime, we also, after my father passed away, we start to work again our family institution with our 3rd generation. It's take 1.5 years and really very intensive work. But what this work is give the opportunity to understand each other with 2nd generation. They really push us what we want for our companies, and we ask them what we are looking for our company. And then we finished the work in 2007, and then we go through the shareholder agreement, and then we start to make our strategy for 2020 in business, and some organizational change in our companies according to our future strategies. Again, after the shareholder agreement, we found a way for the succession in the board level. Because, you know, if something happens, we are 5 sisters now, it's a 5 member on the board level, but if somebody dies, and it will come the children, and perhaps will be 10 shareholders. Because of that problem, what we found a solution, we established 5-star companies. And now in our company is not, the shareholder is not individual. The companies, 5 companies, belong to 5 families, belong to share. And then every family must find their solution in their companies, and then only 5 board members can decide what will go on the board level. I think it's enough for now.
Well, for those who were wondering where the Arab Spring started, this is where it started in Turkey. They have a 70-year head start over us, so it's the Nassim, the Spring Nassim is coming from that side of the world. I will not betray a secret if I told you that 8 out of 10 of the mandates that we work on come to us from the ladies in this part of the world. The ladies who have proved to have potential, the ladies who are concerned about their share of the pie, if I may call it so, and who are pushing basically the seniors and their brothers to make room for them and eventually organize and structure their businesses so that they could participate in the development and in the future. It may not look like it, but Şelale is Peri's niece, and she is generation 3. She is going to tell us and talk to us about the training and the education that was put in place so that the generation 3, which is basically the future, could take over the family business. Please.
So let me give you a brief introduction on myself. I studied engineering at University of Michigan, and I worked for 4 years. Then I had my MBA at UCLA Anderson School of Business in California. I have over 10 years experience in healthcare and finance, which is all outside of my family company. Then I'm currently in charge of establishing the family office and investment management for our family, as well as providing M&A advisory to our family. In our family, as my aunt mentioned, education is very important. My grandmother had 5 daughters, and she said their college education is their dowry, and it's their gold bracelets, because if you buy someone gold bracelets, they can spend them in the future, but if you give them education, then they have the ability to buy their own gold bracelets. We as a family believe that our family members who are involved in the business should be at least as qualified as business professionals. Being a family member is a good thing for the family business, but it's not enough by itself, and the family members need to be qualified. And the fact is, as our business grows and as Turkey is developing, as the world is developing, our business professionals are getting better skills and better educations every day. So for that reason, it's not enough for third generation to just to have college degrees right now. They also need to have master's degrees, additional trainings, and such things. So in our family, we believe education to have 3 components. The first one is the technical component, which is what you need to know in order to perform your job well. This is like engineering, finance, Excel, human resources, and things like that. The second one is the practical aspect, which is how you do what you do, which is the soft skills that you need to have, how you manage teams, how you get someone to do what you want them to do. And the third one, which is very important for family companies, is the family aspect. This is how your family does business, what values are key to the family, what you can compromise on, how do you view your employees, and these things. So next thing is I want to talk a bit about what Inci Holding and the Inci family does in terms of addressing these 3 aspects of education. So I focused on continuing education mostly. But in terms of technical education, we have the Leadership Academy. It got launched about 2 years ago, and the Leadership Academy takes top-level executives as well as promising managers, as well as family members who are interested or already in the family business. And it's a day of teamwork evaluation along with character evaluation. As a result, we plan education and career, like professional organizations plan the education and the trainings required for the family members. So there's a list of trainings that the family can take, or like the business professionals can take, and this is planned after the Leadership Academy. There's also family-endorsed education programs, such as the Harvard schools, some programs by Harvard schools. The Leadership Academy also organizes in-house trainings but they bring professionals from outside, but they're open to top-level executives and family members who want to be there. And a common theme that you'll realize throughout our presentation is that we categorize our family members in the same category as our business professionals. So anything that is available to our family members, our top-level executives or our promising managers also have available, and they're in the same pools and evaluated the same way as business professionals. And the last thing about technical aspect is we have Inci Academy, which is training scheduled by the Inci company, but are also open to family members. In terms of practical training, what we believe is very important to our business processes is that family members need to work at least 2 years outside of the family company before they enter the family company. We believe this is important in terms of seeing how the lower level interacts with the managerial level, and also for eating a bit of the humble pie, and also seeing other systems besides what the current system is. Also, this leadership academy that I've talked about plans for acquisition of soft skills. So they will be giving employee selection and placement training. They will be giving coaching training, empathy training, and things like that. So it will also develop your teamwork, and it will also set out a career path for you, like what positions. So you would need to work 3 more years as a manager, and it will be able to tell you what's a good time frame for you to do. Another thing that we started recently in the last 2 years is a shadow board membership and board member training is what we call. So these are third generation members or promising managers who are destined for board levels, not destined, but who could be at the board level. So they will be shadowing the board meetings, like going to every board meeting as a member, but they would not be like talking much. They can talk depending on the board, but they don't get to meddle in the affairs of the board much. And the fourth thing is our next generation members, as well as family professionals in the business, get coaching from professional coaches in terms of their personal and career goals. We believe this to be very important. The last and the third point is the family dynamics part. Like, how do you get a family member, next generation member, to be educated in the ways of the family, per se. And we believe that most important, the cultural backbone is the family assembly that we have, and it meets twice a year. The family assembly is run by the family council, which is elected, composed of 1 member from each of the 5 families plus 2 elected members. So, and our family members can go into the family council, family assembly, since they're 15, when they hit 15 or by legal marriage. And then 15 is a good time because they start learning about the family culture, how the family views the business, and they're able to work with the family in the family council context. The second one for transferring family dynamics is the joint platforms we have. So that will be one joint platform is a synergy group. Synergy group would be formed of top-level executives, our managers, and the family members, and they have meetings every quarter discussing business issues and just getting a chance to talk over dinner and cocktails. Again, other joint platforms that we have would be the anniversaries of the factories and the invitation of executives to family dinners. So this gives an idea for the next generation of how the business is run and how does the top-level family executives interact with the top-level professional executives. And the third and the last thing about, last but not the least thing, is conferences like this one. We are a member of Family Business Network, and our family is spearheading the Family Business Network organization in Turkey, the chapter in Turkey. And we believe attending these, interacting with other families, interacting with professionals who serve this area is a very important catalyst in planning the next generation and understanding and developing as a family and as a family business. And for example, making this presentation with my aunt, we've also had prior presentations, and every time when we prepare, we learn from each other and we learn something, and I would really encourage other families to especially attend these and like in presentations, because it's really helpful in terms of both generations understanding each other.
May I ask, how many G3 are you?
9.
9. And the 9 of you are going through the same process, or the 9 are interested in joining the business, or?
Most are somehow. At least one of the things that's very important to us is like, even though they might not join the business, they have a responsibility in wealth management perspective. So even though they might not For example, her two children, they're both studying in the arts space, but they have a knowledge that one day they will have to manage the person who manages their shares, even though they might not be always sitting on the board. So they have to go through a certain level of financial understanding. But it depends. Like if they don't want to be on the board, then they don't have to go through the same training as the ones who want to be on the board.
And they participate through the family council level?
Yes, they participate to family assembly. It's open to all family members, but it's separate from the family from the company board.
Okay, sorry.
And our family council is presidency just now. Since third president is from the third generation, not from the second generation. This is to give the opportunity to understanding family culture and family values also.
Excellent, thank you. And you mentioned that I'm going to try to manage the microphone, that's fine. With respect to, you mentioned that the family members are encouraged to work outside the business for a couple of years before they join. Is there a mentorship type program? Is there somebody who will hold your hands when you join, or are you just thrown into the swimming pool and asked to swim?
Before we had more professional, we had like a professional CEO, professional board members. She didn't mention that, but now out of the 4 or 5 board seats, 3 of them are second generation, 1 of them is third generation, and 1 of them is a professional. So, but it's still elected by one of the families, so it's important. But now we have lots of opportunities for mentorship within the organization. But when I was going to college, like working my first years of experience, she actually was my mentor. But now we also have coaching available. So we used to assign someone from the family, but now we have like a much bigger pool of professionals, and we can also assign coaches. So encouraged.
And when you mentioned that the programs that you listed are open to family members as well to executives and employees working within the business, I take it either you may have a dedicated team that caters to training and development, or is it done through HR, for example?
It's mostly run by HR, but the Inci Academy was established last year.
Yeah.
That provides in-house training to employees as well, so that's internal. But for the Leadership Academy, then it's possible to have other, like for example, if I need to take an M&A training, then I go outside. They provide me with a list of providers, and then they will also bring outside professionals for it. For example, we got a top grading training this year from like a firm in the United States, so they would come from outside. So we do in-house training, we send people out to outside trainings, and then we also bring in professionals to groups of people within the organization.
And since you started this program of I would say, enhancement of the governance systems that you have, how did the outside world perceive you or look at you? I mean, the Inci group is quite a large, prominent group in Turkey. Yeah. Did this look like you were pioneers in that field, or did you copy somebody else, or is the market looking at you different? I mean, I bet you've become one of the sexy employers of the country. The curve, and that at one point in the life cycle of an enterprise or a family business or a group or a country, there is a moment where you need to rise again. You need to create a new cycle. You need to regenerate. You need to reinvent. You need to recreate. So this is where that school of thought comes from, and it is always expected that a breath of fresh air, the new generation comes in and takes over the business from the founders and the senior generation, and eventually take it and propel it to the next level. So Ahmad is going to talk to us about that angle of entrepreneurship. Thank you.
If you allow me, I'll begin by briefly presenting the group, and then I'll talk a little bit about the entrepreneurial spirit in the family. We'll bring in a couple of stories. Our group was established in 1966 by my father. I am second generation.